Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to another fun episode of Life After KCPS here on KCPS Homeroom. My name is Chris Odam. I'm the lucky man that gets to guest and host these wonderful conversations with people I've known from the past at that time that were students, and a lot of them from that great school in Kansas City called Paseo Academy. We've also branched out and heard from other schools. So if you're watching this today and you are a student that came from the Kansas City Public Schools, please reach out, get a hold of me. We can get you on this very interview. As I just walk around, I'm hearing people who have seen these shows now, and they're saying, "Hey, I'm from KCPS," and so I'm excited that that's what we want to hear. Some pride and some excitement that yes, you are also from KCPS. So I'm joined with another wonderful person today. This is Mitchell Chandler, and what's special is I interviewed his other half earlier. And that episode is aired, Kosha, right? And you all knew each other in high school. And
Yeah,
then she and I talked about it a little bit, but then found each other after high school to be a little more interesting even than in high school, right?
yeah, right, right.
So that's really cool. So we're joined by kind of the second half of a couple for this first time on KCPS Life After KCPS show. So Mitchell, will you tell us what year did you graduate and what was going on that year that you remember about?
I graduated 2010. I am a vocal music major, and that year was pretty much, I don't want to say a wash because that sounds bad, but I finished everything I needed to get done. I think there was maybe one or two classes I needed to do, but it was just a relaxation, get everything done, and graduate, really.
Nice. Well, I don't know that everybody feels that way on their senior years.
Right,
That
right.
that probably means you were doing things to get them out of the way the first time, and you were caught up in your days and weren't behind in anything. Is that right?
It was a little bit of both, but I think by my junior year, I got it together enough to where senior year was pretty easy.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I do remember it kind of the similar way. It was kind of a transition. Like I'm there now. What do I do next?
Right.
And you only feel there for just a little while, and then you got
Yep.
to figure out what's next. So tell us about that. What came right after you walked across that stage in Life After KCPS? What was your next move?
Uh, my next move was I didn't really have one, so I kind of just was living, enjoying life for a little bit. I got a job, of course, working at Target. So I worked there for about a year and a half and realized, of course, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go back to school, but didn't have money. You know, the same story that a lot of kids, especially in the inner city, had where they didn't have money, couldn't go to college just straight off, didn't have a scholarship. So I ended up joining the military, and I'm currently still in.
Hmm.
Um, so what? This is 9 years now of being in the military. I'm a guard, so I haven't been full time this entire time,
I see.
and I've been back and forth from Wichita to from here. I lived in Texas for a little bit for training. I've deployed 3 times now. So after high school, it was military. Came home. My mom had got sick, so I came home, helped take care of her for a little bit. When she got back on her feet, then I went back working full time, and then what I want to say 5 years back, maybe it was, is when I started doing music a lot more. Also,
Hmm.
um, my cousin Carlton McCormick, he's a alumni of Paseo. Also, he was the one that originated the alumni showcase, and that's kind of where I picked up the passion for music again because it fell off, especially when I joined the military. Once my mom got sick, there was a bunch of other stuff going on that kind of affected me to where I didn't want to do music anymore.
Mhm.
But thanks to him, I picked it back up and I've been going heavy with it now. So,
That's really cool. And so you guys were in a group. I remember having the CD Versatile, right? I think I
oh
still have it
yeah,
at home. You got the cool picture on the front. And
yeah,
Carlton's got some music out there now, or just released a song, I think, in iTunes and
yep,
all kinds of other formats. So I'm going to
yep,
talk to him down the road on this little episode too. Just really amazing. Another person that is not just barely trying music, but like all up in it every chance he had, right? So
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
neat. And I'd say the same thing. People remind you, like my friends that play inspire me to play some or get me back in the vibe or that. So I did a little bit of music myself, but not near what I think you guys are doing these days. So
Yeah.
what's it like to produce? What do you do now? If so, that is your area. You're producing other people and yourself, or what's that like?
Right now, I'm kind of I guess you could say reinventing myself because when we had our first, well, my first child, her second, Camila, I stepped back and that's where he went full force doing his solo thing.
I see.
So I've recently just been reinventing myself, and I have been doing a lot more production and getting a better grasp on production and writing and kind of the behind the scenes things. So that's what I've really been doing, just growing in that aspect. And now that we've had two kids since, I am slowly but surely getting my foot back out there to start performing on stage again and getting my name out there because I feel like I've done the in, inventing of myself, figuring out who I want to be, where I want to go, what my sound is, and now I'm ready to hit the stage again. So
Nice. Well, since you discovered all that, where do you want to go? What is your sound going to be? Like, can you describe it a little bit? You're trying to, you said kind of find a spot for yourself in the market. What's that? What are you going to shoot out there into this world?
I would say it's a neo soul kind of rap style. It's a mix of a lot of different things that I've picked up through this. I want to say it's been about 2 years since I've actually been on stage with Carlton and Versatile.
Mm.
So it's kind of a mix neo soul trap. It's it's different. I don't it's hard to explain honestly, but it's
Good.
me.
Good.
It's
Good art is hard to explain, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just it's I think it's hard because it's so many different things altogether because as you know I was vocal music and we did a lot of classical jazz,
Hmm.
so all that plays a part into all of my creations and
Very
everything.
cool.
So
So let's explore that for a minute. You brought it up that you did a lot of that at Paseo. What
mhm.
stayed with you from that? Like, what do you feel like you were exposed to or learned about that was valuable later on that you maybe not everybody had a chance to do that didn't attend a
Mhm.
performing arts school? What really stayed with you, do you think?
With music per se, I would say um, chords. Well, the big picture is piano. Miss Ball. That was where I first started learning piano. I play to this day. And with that music theory, I didn't pick up, which I should have, and that was a a mess up on my part. Of course, at the time, it wasn't very. Um, it didn't catch my attention,
Sure.
but a little bit of that theory still stuck through to where now I'm picking out chords, different type of jazz chords, and I wouldn't say making up my own chords. 'Cause I'm sure the chords I play are have been played before,
Yeah.
but that
Progression.
singing, right,
Right.
percussion,
Yeah.
singing, holding notes longer than I need to so I can get the stamina when I'm on stage. Being comfortable with my voice, that's probably the biggest one that I've grown more accustomed to now is being comfortable with how I sound and not being so critical on how I sound because other people love it. So why am I so hard on myself? So
Yeah. That's really cool. And it's kind of one of those things that we wonder, like if somebody can sing, if
mhm.
they are, they're holding out on us, and then when are we finally
Right.
going to get to hear that? And then it turns out the person that's hiding it is really, they're hiding it because they've been practicing for like ever.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Right. Very cool. I know that feels good. I've sung a couple times in my life. I'm not pitch deaf. I mean, I have an ear for things, and
Uh-huh.
I've had a few people tell me like that's really pretty strong. I'm like, hmm. So yeah, that's all that time in the car and all that secret, like,
Yeah.
not showing anybody. So that's really exciting. Okay, so you're doing your own thing. You're producing some people. You're getting involved. You got a couple kids to take care of. It sounds like you have lots on your plate, um,
Yes.
but you seem very happy and very satisfied with life. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess you can say that. There's there's things I would have done differently, of course, but the way my life is now, I think I wouldn't change it because I probably wouldn't be where I am now if I changed something. It's almost like the butterfly effect, you go back in time and change something, and it'll be drastically different now. So,
Sure.
um,
We step on our own experiences to get where we're going, and you got to
yeah,
have them to get to the next one. And so yeah,
exactly.
I understand that a lot. Well, fantastic. Thank you for bringing us up to speed. Let's think a little bit like what you were thinking when you said you weren't sure yet and you were wishing you did more music theory, thinking back when you're 17, 18, thinking that age group for a minute. What do you think
Mhm.
somebody that age would really benefit from thinking about or hearing in this crazy year that we've lived in of 2021?
This even in 2020, I would say the one thing I learned in 2020 was being being purposeful in whatever I'm doing and sticking to it because like I said, well, after working at Target and after graduating, I didn't do music for a long time. And what I learned in 2020 is the work ethic I had in 2020 and now in 2021 is what I should have had back after I graduated. Because if I would have stuck to what I was doing, I would have been way further along than what I am now. So for kids that were in my position 18, 17, 18, 19 years old, what you want to do then, do it, stick to it, perfect it, because by the time you're my age, I'm almost 30 now, you'll be a master at it. And if you're doing what you love, as my father used to tell me, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. So, oh, I can't hear you.
It does
Oh,
get better. Like even I'd really recently realized that there's a Dr. King essay about using your 10 years of time to pay it
mm-hmm.
forward and be even more powerful than you were for the last 10 years. And I used to tell people that thinking I had invented it or something, but no, of
Yeah.
course it's from the great Dr. King. But I do see that, like, but you're just now hitting 30, my man. So the 30s are fantastic. I
Oh
am
yeah.
considerably older than that, but um, and even 40, I'm 43, and after you turn 40, people talk about all this terrible stuff, but you do have a different understanding of what you're doing on this planet, and
mm,
you just do not you, I think people will eventually not feel as lost or unsure. And
yeah.
so I'm excited to
It's
hear that you've already found that to be true by the time you hit 30, and
mm-hmm.
you got a lot of years to do something with 30 and 40 and 50. So
And it's funny because I think it was about a week or two ago, there was a post that was talking about how Jay-Z got big late in life, 2 Chainz got big late in life, and I think they said 2 Chainz is 43 and he got big at like 40 or
mm,
something like that. But after I saw that, I was like, I can't limit myself on time wise because I get big when I get big. If I get big,
mm,
or success will happen when it happens. No matter how young or old you are, it's gonna happen.
mm.
You just gotta put forth the effort.
Mhm. For sure. And other doors open that you might have never thought of, or you might meet somebody, or
Yeah.
yeah, I'm the same way. I've been practicing just in case there's a reason for it. And
Right. Right.
I don't really know truly like if there will be. I hit the stage 3 times, maybe 4 times in my life with a group I was in. And that
Yeah.
is an exhilarating feeling, like to push through your
Definitely.
nerves, to practice all that together, to pack your car up, to gig for like an hour, maybe,
Yeah.
and pack it all back up and make like $24.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Been there so many times.
Yeah, but that's all right. I mean, those are some of the more important days to me,
hmm
because it proved we could do this if we wanted to. It would be a little more risky. I wouldn't have a day-to-day grind, but I wouldn't have a
Yeah.
day-to-day income either. So,
True. True.
So that's really cool. Do you have that day-to-day grind still, or are you able to operate without one, or you're still kind of doing both?
I'm doing both. So right now I'm military full time now, still guard. So I have the luxury of being active duty without moving.
Uh,
And then when I have free time or if I just feel like creating, I come down to the studio and put in whatever time I have to put in. And if there's a show coming up, or if like my Carlton, if he needs something done, he'll come over. We'll create some stuff, and we have some other friends that we work with and create with, and I still do it, but I still got the backup just in case because
Absolutely.
I got 4 mouths to feed. So
Yeah, no, that's for sure. And then you're not losing hope that down the road the artistry will come through, and the the yeah, who knows, right? The income
right,
or the connection with some other artists, or all these things are starting to happen. Let me tell you, there are people out there that I have interviewed.
yeah,
Just I knew they were going to go somewhere. I didn't know exactly where. None of us did,
yeah,
but it's just remarkable. Like there is a market and a definitely a career path out there for people. So
definitely,
it's really fun to see people push that hard and go for it and get there and just feel rewarded. So
yeah.
I'm thinking you're going to get there yourself, and you're on your way, and that you're surrounded by all the right elements. So keep pushing on it. Tell me going out the door, just a small bit of advice for any of these young people. You kind of gave them some there, but just kind of like a
Hmm.
bookends or a capper on this thing. What's something you think a young
Hmm.
person out there, um, just a short little bit of wisdom, might take away, something you remember hearing, or just another kind of little snippet of positive to shoot out there into Kansas City today? What do you think?
Um,
No pressure.
I've already said the one of no, it's all good. The one of sticking to your craft and perfecting. I already said that one. Perfect that. There's two more.
Okay.
Uh, one that my cousin always told me. It was after I lost my grandpa and my aunt, and it's always bend but don't break. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to break down, but come back from it. Sometimes the music for me, it gets hard to keep pushing through and keep going when I know I could stop now, sell everything and be done with it, and I'm cool. But I've been to the situations that are at hand and keep moving forward. So that one, and then the other big one that me and Carlton always stick to is sacrifice. Sometimes you're not gonna get what you want
Hmm.
that initial time, but you got to sacrifice time, money, effort. Sometimes you got to put more money in that you're gonna get than you're gonna get back. But
Mhm.
to grow and to get that experience and those connections, sometimes you got to sacrifice. So
Fantastic. All right. I'm glad I pushed for a couple more, because those are so
yeah,
powerful, and you're hearing them come from the heart and from, wisdom that passed on from people, from friends, from that's
definitely.
exactly how this stuff works. That was my favorite part of asking students to do that with each other, kind of pay it forward. If you were a senior, what could you tell a freshman? And I've kind of remembered that I really value asking people that question.
Yeah.
Given that you've done this 4 years, what would you do if you could do it again? And what would your ninth grade
Hmm.
be like? And I think freshmen, when we would have those situations, would really soak up what the seniors would say. So if you're listening out there, this is not just a senior, this is a senior plus, 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 or so, right?
Like 5 times 5, I think.
And I think you're probably hearing some useful wisdom and ideas for your own life. So that is our hope in doing these shows. They're not forever long, so we will have to bring this one to a close. But it's been a wonderful chance to check in with another of our wonderful KCPS students, turned adult, turned father, turned producer. So, Mitchell, it's been fun catching up with you. And
Thank you.
I appreciate what you're doing out there. I know that you're keeping the passion alive, and that's so important. I'm never going to let the arts die in me either.
Definitely.
There's something they do for me that I will never stop needing them to do. It's the best way to release and repair yourself, probably, on the planet. So if you think about doing an art forum and you're out there in Kansas City, get in it all the way, like he's talking about. And you might be surprised that other people, will really respond to what you're doing, because we always need more art. And
Definitely.
Kansas City, if you have not noticed, is a really great center of so much. There is so much live music. There is so much poetry. There's so much art centers that you can find and kind of tap into. Blue Room, 18th and Vine events. I know you probably frequent some of those, right?
Definitely.
Soul Sessions with Simeon Taylor, that has been leading that for so many years, and it still just blows people away if they've never attended. So check out some of these events there, young Kansas Cityans, and start looking up what it means to go to an open mic night. And, you might find that before you know it, you're the featured performer down the road. So, Mitchell, it's been awesome. Appreciate you so much. And thank you for doing my little humble Life After KCPS show. And if you're listening today and you want to be on this show, please reach out and get a hold of me. Come tell your story. We need as many examples for young people to see and hear of what happens when you do go out of the door and become an adult after high school. And there's so many options. Sometimes in high school, it may feel like you have a couple, but there's so many options out there that the more you can think about those paths, the more likely you might have a different idea. So we're signing off for this Friday morning on KCPS Real World Fridays, Life After KCPS. Thank you again, Mitchell, for being a wonderful guest.
Hey, no problem.
And have a wonderful life, sir.
All right, we'll see you.
See you.